everyone, my name is Brianna. Today I'm going to be doing my September book haul. So these are all the books that I acquired over the month of August, and I also got some books for my birthday sent from friends, and I also bought a special book for myself. I mean, I always buy books for myself, but I bought a book specifically for myself, and I'll talk about that when I get to the book. So let's just get started into the haul because I have like 22 books, which for me is not that bad. For normal book buyers, I guess it's like pretty big, but y'all know me and my shopping habits. Anyways, let's just get into it. So the first book I have is In the Ravenous Dark, and I have actually been trying to buy this book for months now, but I just never got around to buying it because I came up with this rule of only buying books until after I read it, and I just kept putting off the book, but I really wanted to buy it. And so I just kept going back and forth, like, oh my gosh, like, no, I can't buy this yet, but like, oh, I don't want to read it yet, but I really want to buy it, but I can't. So I just kept going back and forth until one day I was finally like, you know what, just buy it. So this book is, I think it's a poly book, and it's YA. I bought it because the main character is pansexual, and I'm looking for more reps that are of other parts in the LGBT community. So not just lesbian, not just gay, not just bi, but I want like pansexual and asexual and demisexuals. You know, these books that are a lot harder to find representation in, I want to read more about. So I picked up this book. I'm actually genuinely just really excited for this book. The next book I have is Before They Are Hanged, and I'm actually reading the first book, The Blade Itself, and I'm really liking it. And I have some more Joe McCrummy books because I'm like obsessed with him, even though I've only read one book so far. But yeah, anyway, so I bought this book. So I bought the third book in my last haul, and then the first book in the haul before my last one. So this is the second book. I bought them out of order because it was so hard for me to get this one because it wouldn't come in. For some reason my Amazon has been messing up recently, where like I buy a book and then it just won't come in, so they just refund me my money. Like, I would have had For Your Own Good to haul, but I bought it twice and it just didn't come in. So I was like, okay, whatever, like maybe I'll get it when I go to Barnes & Noble, if I ever go. And then I bought the Howling Dark, and this is the second book, and this is the book that follows Empire of Silence, which I read in like June or July. But I really like the book. I'm very nervous to get into this because the book was like a 3.5 star, and I expected it to be higher. And I feel like this one is going to be good too. But for some reason, when the first book isn't like an all-time favorite, it's so hard for me to just jump into the next book. I did the same thing with the Bone season. Like, I still have not read the second book yet. And it's like, I do know that series could get better over time. But it's like something in my brain, it's just like, still put it off until later. So I keep putting this book off until later. So hopefully I do get into it soon because I really love the art for this book, and the series is like a big sci-fi series, and I really want to love it basically. And the next book I have is These Hollow Vowels, which I actually did read. I read this like April or May. I read it as an arc, and this one is a fae book. It is about this girl. I like to call this a Cinderella retelling, even though it's not pitched as that at all. I don't even think Cinderella is pitched in here. I think it's like for fans of ACOTAR and The Cruel Prince type of pitch, but I think it's for fans of Cinderella and The Cruel Prince. It's basically about this main character. Her name is Bree, and her mom, I think her mom either like died or just left her and her sister, so now she lives with her aunt, and her aunt has 2 daughters, and Bree basically is like, she is sent to do stuff for them. She always has to clean up after them. She owes this debt to them, so she literally has to do this stuff. And then one day her stepmom was like, yeah, all your debt has been forgiven, and she's like, okay. And then it turns out her sister has been given away to the Goblin King, I think. So now she has to go to the fae world, and she hates fae because of the experience her mom had with it, I believe. So now she has to go to this fae world, and then she has 2 love interests, and I give this book 3 out of 5 stars. I did think it was really intriguing though. Like, the end was good, but it just like, it was really predictable, and I love love triangles, and this one really it wasn't like the romance and the love triangles weren't really giving. Like, one was friends to lovers, and I don't care about friends to lovers. I think that friends to lovers for me, like, I do like friends to lovers actually. I'm growing to like it, but for me I just didn't care for friends to lovers in this book. And then The other one was just like it's just like no fun tropes for the romance, so it's okay. But I really like the books, and I do want to read the second book, and it's Faye, so of course I had to get it. And the ending was really good. Like, I probably doesn't make it sound good like after my complaints, but the ending, I promise you, a lot of it was predictable, but a little bit of it was not predictable in the price that, I mean, some people did predict it. For me, I didn't, so I was personally shocked, which is why I had to buy the book physically. The next book I have is Where the Truth Lies, and I got this one because of Gabby from Gabby Reads. Usually around fall, like I always take her thriller recommendations, but usually around fall, any book she mentions, like thriller, I have to buy it and I have to read it. Like, for some reason, like I read thrillers all year round, I notice, but in fall is when I read the most thrillers, and is when I find the most that I enjoy, because even though I read thrillers all year round, I'm really picky about my thrillers. But anyways, this one is about this girl, and I think she ends up like going missing at like this party. So it's just about this girl who goes missing, and someone has a bunch of questions because they think she ran away, but she's like, nah, I know my bestie and she won't leave me behind. So now, like, I don't really know what. The way that Gabby told it sounded so much more intriguing, but it's a small town thriller, and I love those. I'm obsessed with like town, neighborhood, like hotel, apartment building, like just close-knit thrillers. I'm obsessed. The book that I bought myself for my birthday was Dune. So originally I was not gonna buy this book because I wanted to read it first and make sure I liked it first before I bought it, just because I'm limiting myself on like the editions that I buy and things like that, and I didn't want to like buy it and then hate it and then feel guilty for having this book. But I really want it. Like, I have been thinking about this book all the time, and I just realized like how I shouldn't, like, I don't have to do that. And the only reason I was doing it is because I didn't want people to like talk badly, like, oh yeah, Mayana has such bad buying habits and all this stuff, and she bought this book and wasted her money. But it's like, I should not care. I should not let what people think affect the book that I buy, because I know like marketing, and I know that when the movie comes out, this book was going to be hard to find. Like, I know that. So I knew I wanted to buy this book before that anyways, and that was the only goal I really had. And the book is like so pretty, like the sprayed edges. I bought it, and then actually the other day I saw this TikTok of somebody finally explaining what the book is about, and I'm like, that actually sounds really interesting. And then when I got the book, I was just checking it out, looking like, you know, what the inside looks like, and just a lot of cool stuff about the book, you know, because it's a special edition, so I want to see what it has. And I actually read the first page, and I was actually really intrigued, but I put it down because I'm reading the book itself, and I don't want to like mix the series that I'm reading. That's something I do want to work on, is like reading a full series and then starting another one. It's taking me forever, but that's not even idea. Like, this is like when you first open the book, and then this says fear is the mind killer here, and it has like the side, and it has like a circle on the back. And then when you open the dust jacket, it's this. Oh, and the back of it looks like this. And I'm just really excited to get into it because it's a long series, and then even like the author's son picks it up, and I really hope that this continues and they make more editions, like pre-editions, because I do want to continue on with the series, like if I like it. My birthday, my best friend Jocelyn bought me, spoiler alert, and The First Sister. So this one is a fantasy book. I don't know what it's about, but it is a non-binary LGBTQ book. They are in a lesbian relationship, I believe. So plus I'm like obsessed with this cover. It's a lot tinier than I thought. Like, oh yeah, I could get through this. I could. Now this is the kind of fantasy, adult fantasy books I really need to get to, you know, very small, very much 300 pages, very much not thick, not something I could throw at someone and possibly kill them, something I could read in like a few hours. Like, yes, very much. And then I got Spoiler Alert, which I have been meaning to read for a long time. This is not the cover that either of us thought I was gonna get. There's another cover by an artist, but I like this one and it matches. I just don't know if it'll fit on my romance shelf because it seems small, or maybe it's because I haven't read a physical romance book in so long that I don't know the size, but whatever. And then I have some more Joe Abercrombie book. I'm obsessed with this man, and I've only read The Blade Itself, and The Blade Itself is not even like a 5-star read. Not saying it's boring or anything, not saying like it's not like this is bad, but it's like, to me it's like a 4-star read. It's funny, just doesn't have any plot, but I really like the way that he writes, and I think he's hilarious. Like, I cannot stop laughing. So then I picked up A Little Hatred and The Trouble with Peace, and then the third book comes out this month, if it's not already out by the time this video is up. And I was informed that these are all like, it's kind of like a Cassandra Clare moment, where it's like one big series but you read 3 books. So there's The Blade Itself, which I forgot the name of the series, and then there's another series, and then there's these. So I might read the other ones from my library, and then, because I don't really like the covers to those, not gonna lie, so I'll probably read those from my library and then get to these. So it might be a minute before I get to these, because I'm obsessed with covers, and I had to buy the hardcovers. Even though The Blade Itself books are in paperback, I had to buy these in hardcover because I'm obsessed with hardcovers. Like, I mean, yeah, I've been buying paperbacks recently, but I'm still a hardcover girl, so I'm still gonna do all I can to buy a book in hardcover first before I buy it in paperback. And the next book I have is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and if you see my wrap up in my TBR, my Vampathon announcement, you would know that I talked about this book, and I didn't get to finish how I talked about it because my camera cut off. So basically, In My Dream I Hold a Knife is about, it's a thriller, and it is about these people who get this letter that their 10-year college anniversary is happening. So they all been together, and one of their friends had died in the past, and they think it's someone else, but something happens to where they band together and try to figure out who it actually is. And I love the title. I'm obsessed with the title. I'm obsessed with the cover, and I've been trying to read this forever, but I just keep like putting it down. But hopefully I get to it before October, so that way, like, whatever my October TBR is, it's not just like super long, because I'm still already planning it right now. And then the next book I have is The Sundown Motel. I plan to do a video where I read a bunch of like slasher books, because y'all know I love my slashers. So I bought The Sundown Hotel because I found out that this one is like a slasher-esque book. So I really can't wait to get into this one. I also bought The Shining. Yes, I already own a copy of The Shining, but I found out that they had this one in the Halloween edition, and I already have Misery, Dolores Claiborne, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and I think that's it. They did have Carrie, but I read Carrie, even though it's my favorite movie of all time, definitely don't like the book, so I never bought Carrie. But there's also they have the new editions of the Rainbow Spines that I want to get. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to get into Stephen King, so look forward to a video where I will probably do a vlog in October where I read a certain, like a Stephen King book, like probably like The Stand or something like that. I don't know. I have to read a few more Stephen Kings before I really see how I feel about him, because I don't really know how I feel about him. Like, I feel like his books are very descriptive to the point where sometimes I get bored and I lose like actual interest in the story. But then there are books like Dolores Claiborne, which I really enjoy. So I really just have to find those books for me. So I have to just make sure I like him before I make the video, and then I hate it, and then I get a bunch of like hate comments, and then people are like, you know. But yeah, the Stephen King books I read, I haven't read any of his popular works, so I think that's my problem. So now I'm going back and I'm reading his popular work, because I think I really messed up. I was trying to start off on books that like weren't that popular, because I'm like, oh, maybe those are still good, when I should have started off with like Salem's Lot, The Shining, The Stand, It, you know, Queen of Blood, because I read The Bone Maker, and though it was like okay, I really like Sarah Beth Dirk's writing. I've read from her before The Bone Maker. I don't like to talk about the book because it was a bit child. Well, what was it called? What is that book called? Eat, Drink, Slay, Love, and it's like a vampire book. Such a good vampire book, and it has like a Lifetime adaptation to it, which Lifetime movies are bad. So it's camp, basically. It's a good movie to me. It's camp. So I've read from Sarah Beth Dirks before, so I kind of do like know I'm used to her writing. So this book is talked about, but it's like it just seems very underhyped. So I want to get more into like underhyped books, so I do want to check this one out. The next book I have is an arc that was sent to me, and it's a Vesper teen. I was really excited for Vesper teen, and then I read some reviews and it said there was no romance, and I said it, I keep saying this on my videos, but I don't need romance in my books, but it's the fact that Margaret Rogerson is so good at romance that has me like, oh, there's not going to be any. So it's like I know the potential that she has, so that's more so why I've been putting it off. So this one is about this revenant, and it's kind of like a male voyant being. So I see it as like something that is like a aura. So it's something that like is like the way that I picture is something that like is over her, but you can't really see it. So it's like it's kind of like over her body, I guess. But it's really funny, and the main character is a great, she wants to be a great sister, so it's like she goes to a nun school, and then something happens, so the nuns give her this revenant, and it like is a part of her, and like they keep like arguing, and it's just so funny to me so far. So it is good. Like I do see myself really liking it. I just have to really like sit down and like read it and like be like, yo, it does not need romance, you know. Sometimes I gotta yell at myself to read certain things, and that's okay. The next book I have to talk about is The Bones of Ruin, and this book is about Victorian London and an underground of superhumans, and it also has secret societies, and it's just like it's giving me everything I want, and it's African based. So like finally get a black girl, and like I don't want to say finally get a black girl in fantasy because we've been getting that like all year, and it's like this one just really intrigues me personally. And then I got Half a King by who possibly could it be? Joe freaking Abercrombie, because I want to own all of his books, I guess. This one is his YA book though, so I am very intrigued, and like just look how freaking pretty this cover is. It's so tiny, like why? But whatever. This book was $8.99 in the UK. I think I paid like $15 anyways. Then I also bought the Atlas 6, which I was supposed to read for my book club in August, but I just never got to it, and it's a dark academia book, and I just never got to it. So that's on me, but it's really hyped right now, and everyone's reading it and everyone's loving it, so I feel like I already know I'm gonna like it, you know. Next book I have is My Heart is a Chainsaw, and this is a slasher book. It is an indigenous author, and I believe the main character is also indigenous. Her name is Jade, and it is basically like a hardcore 80s film. And I always talk about slashers, but my favorite slashers are 80s slashers. The trashier the better. I also got The Iron King, which I don't know, I like this series. I'm gonna have to continue before I buy the rest of them, because I did read the second book, and this book was like 3 stars. It is about this girl and her dad. Like one day she's at the park with her dad, and this man just literally like disappears, and then a few years later on her 16th or 18th birthday, because you know those birthdays always gotta be the only, like why can't 17 be the special birthday, you know? Why can't 19 be the special birthday? Why is it always gonna be 16 or 18? Anyways, one of those ages, on her birthday, her younger brother gets kidnapped, so now she goes to the fairy world to get him back, and she finds out that her real dad is actually a king, like a fae king. And it also introduces the Iron King, because the fae in this world cannot really touch or deal or be around iron because it weakens them, and there's this Iron King, and he is just causing an uproar and a mess and just messing with them. And yeah, so she just like, it's just like this, she goes on an adventure to like save her brother. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't like giving what I thought it would give, and the character isn't acting how I personally want her to act, I guess, especially in the second book. Like I wanted her to be more badass, I guess. I wanted her to be more like, she felt betrayed in the second book, and she just didn't, I just don't know, just wasn't giving, you know. But I'll have to read the rest to see how that goes. And then the last 2 books were actually gifted to me for my birthday by my subscriber and friend Alicia, and she got me the Bromance Book Club and the Jade Throne. I've wanted this book for a minute. This book, I think this book came out last year, and a lot of people who read like adult fantasy have been talking about it, and it just sounds so interesting. So I was like, okay, well I have to at least own it, so I know then I can get to it soon. Now I do, so I actually can't wait to get to this book. And then the Bromance Book Club is a romance book, and it is about this girl, and she's married, and her husband finds out that she has been faking it, and I think she ends up like wanting a divorce or something like that, and whatever, they start a bromance book club so that he can learn how to like please his wife, and just, yeah, please his wife. And yes, a second chance marriage romance, and I really love that trope. I do not know why. I don't really want to read any romance books in fall. So I want to cut down on my romance books in fall because I have so many adult fantasy books I need to read, and YA fantasy too. I have so many fantasy books I need to read because I put them off in the summertime, so I want to focus more on those. But this one still has like a fall feel to it, it seems like, just by the cover, I guess, because it's not as like bright and colorful. So I do want to get to this one soon. This one I actually am going to get to. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.